Hey, I'm Matt705 Show, also known as Matt Taylor, also known as Boonski, and as of last night, known as Boonski the Fist of Justice. I'll get into that in a moment. So last night was Survivor Series, and I'll do a quick rundown of that in a few moments. But first, after Survivor Series ended, I came home, as usual, sitting down, tried to watch TV, but the satellite was out. So I was watching a movie. I don't even remember what movie I was watching. And then about 2 in the morning, I was kind of bored, so I decided I'm going to go over to Mac's, check my bank account, get something to drink, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm walking to Mac's, like it's a 45-second walk, you cross the street, and then you cross the lights. As soon as I cross the lights and I'm in the Mac's parking lot, I hear this girl yell out, "What the fuck? Get the fuck away from me!" And the thing is, behind Mac's there's train tracks, and that's where the sound was coming from. So, a little bit worried and kind of curious, I went over to the train tracks. I didn't walk, but I didn't run, just in case there's like a whole group of guys there that will just be waiting to kick somebody's ass. But I went over there, and when I got to the tracks, about, I don't know, 50 feet away at most, there was this guy who I'm guessing was about 25, and this girl was kind of like on the train tracks, and she was about, I would guess, 17. And he looked like he was about to do something to her, and if you're even somewhat knowledgeable, you'll kind of guess what he was planning. 2 in the morning, train tracks, surrounded by bushes. So, me being the person with a righteous sense of justice, as I am, I know that sounds so corny and made up, but it's not. I do have a very strong sense of justice, even if it doesn't seem like it. I look over and at him, and I say fairly loudly, as I start walking towards them, "What the fuck are you doing, man? She told you to fuck off." He looks over at me, kind of just a scoff sort of thing at me. And I'm like, oh, that's how it's going to be. And I'm wearing steel-toed shoes because they were the closest ones to the door, and the ones I didn't have to tie, because they were already tied. So I fucking book it over to him, I turn around, give him one big boot in the gut, right? And he keels over, because you get kicked with steel-toed boots, shoes, whatever you want to call them, you're going to feel it. And he kind of keels over, and I just hit him with a boom, big right, straight to the nose. And oh god, I hope I broke that fucker's nose. And he kind of stumbled, grabbed his nose, and fucking booked it down the train tracks. I was going to follow him, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. He's going to be feeling me for the next couple days anyway. Helped the girl up. She's like, "Thank you very much," and walked away. So, like, I know vigilante justice isn't right, but if you hear something like that, you're not just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, whatever," and just go about your business. Fuck that shit. If you do that, you're a coward. Plain and simple. Or you, like, a lot of people would say what I did was right. A lot of people would say what I did was wrong. Personally, I think what I did was right, because I may have either saved a girl from getting raped, or mugged, abused. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But all I know for sure is that people like that make me sick to my fucking stomach. Alright, now that that's out of the way, Survivor Series last night, I'm just going to get a match card going right here. It was a good pay-per-view. A lot of people were disappointed with, the fact that nobody returned. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, Undertaker's coming back," and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Kane's coming back, Kevin Nash is gonna make an appearance." No, he's not. There's enough fucking star power with The Rock to, whatever. Alright, first match on the docket was Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison. Throughout the whole match, if you didn't watch it, every fucking person, all 17,000 people, were chanting, "We want Ryder." Pretty much throughout the whole match, they were chanting, "We want Ryder." When they weren't chanting that, they were chanting "boring," they were booing, and Dolph Ziggler kept making, like, fist pumping shit and all this. And that just pissed them off. They started chanting "fuck you, Ziggler" for like about 5 times. And then Ziggler retained with a beautiful zigzag. Hands down, it was one of the best he's ever done. Then Vicky gets on the mic, "Excuse me," does all that garbage, right? And then Ziggler has the mic, and he's like, they're chanting, "We want Ryder," and he's like, "He's not here. How about people following that?" And it's going on and on and on, talking about how he's the greatest, and how Ryder isn't worth anything. Then all you hear is "woo woo woo," you know it, and then radio starts to play. The fucking place erupted. Like, you would think, seriously, the roof of Madison Square Garden just poof, blew off. Ryder comes out, Ziggler starts pounding on him. Then after he pounds on him, Ryder's like kind of on the mat, and Ziggler's like, "Oh, I'm the best," blah blah blah, holding up the U.S. title. Ryder just comes back, boom, 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 hits him with a Rough Rider, and then he just does his whole woo, 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 all that, right? Crowd's going nuts. So if Ryder doesn't get a title shot soon, like, people are going to stop watching it, because Ryder is money. Next match was Beth Phoenix versus Eve in a Lumberjill match. Amazing end. Normal Divas match throughout. The end was unbelievable. Beth had, what's her name? Eve on the top rope, right? Top rope of the turnbuckle. Hit her with a glam slam off the top rope. Now that move would, if you don't do it right standing, like, on the mat, you're going to get fucked up. You do it off the top rope, you're definitely going to get fucked up, even if you do it right or wrong. But whatever. Unbelievable, though. Team Barrett versus Team Orton. Good Survivor Series match. Nothing too great, but it was good. Team Barrett won, thankfully. Last person on Team Orton was Orton. Last people on Team Barrett were Barrett and Cody Rhodes. So Barrett and Rhodes were beating the crap out of Orton for a while, and then Orton makes his surprise comeback, pulling off a Super Cena, and looks like he was setting up for an RKO on Barrett. Rhodes gets in the ring, Orton hits Rhodes with an RKO, Barrett picks him up, just boom! Hits him with the Wasteland, end of match right there. Barrett and Rhodes are finally getting pushes that they need. I believe next, The Rock cut a promo. And it was your classic Rock promo, talking about, actually, and it was a New Age Rock too, talking about this and that, and what it's like being in New York, talking about his favorite place to eat. Then he went through all his catchphrases, from Rocky to one-on-one with the Great One, from layeth the smacketh down, to whatever, and he just kept going on and on, and now, boots to asses, and the whole place. Like, The Rock holds the fucking people, his fans, in the palm of his hand all the time. He can get them to say what he wants, he can get them to chant what he wants. Plain and simple. Next was Mark Henry versus Big Show, and they showed them reinforcing the ring and all that. Fairly decent match, and, well, not really decent. Decent for the two Giants to go, because Giant matches aren't that great, to be honest. And it was going on, and then Big Show looked like he was gaining the upper hand. Henry boots him in the balls. Big Show goes down. And this is the part where I was thinking, I knew this was going to happen after the match. He grabs the chair, puts it on Big Show's leg. What I thought was going to happen was he was going to start climbing the turnbuckle, Pyro was going to go off, Kane was going to come rushing down the ring, but that didn't happen. What happened was Big Show dodged it, took the chair off his leg, punched Henry in the face, then put the chair on Henry's leg, and did a leg drop on it, and then they showed the medics attending to Mark Henry, and Henry's like, "Oh, it's broken, blah, blah, blah," and doing his best acting job. So, I don't know where they're going with that, but I'm really thinking that Barrett is... Oh, right after that. Barrett and Rhodes cut a promo. Oh no, Barrett cut a promo. being interviewed by Matt Stryker, talking about where you're going next. And he said World Heavyweight Championship, blah, 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 talked about that. Then all of a sudden you just hear, really? 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 Miz shows up, and they start bickering back and forth. R-Truth shows up, Barrett leaves. Funniest part of the night, I literally started crying. They cut a promo, and then R-Truth gets a microphone. And you know, R-Truth has a microphone, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fucking hilarious. And he goes on about how they don't have a billboard, Rock and Cena have a billboard, and then he goes on to this part where he was in the park talking to the pigeons, and I can't do it, but he was talking to the pigeons. He was like, you know what those pigeons said to me? Nothing. Pigeons don't do nothing but crap. And like, if you can find that promo online, watch it. I was literally, it hurt so much I was laughing. I was laughing so much it hurt, whatever you want to say. Oh, seriously, I was crying. My stomach was killing me because it was just too funny. CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio. Great match, which is to be expected. Oh, right. Before I get into that, in the Survivor Series match, Sin Cara got injured again. Well, not again, but he's definitely injured now. You saw when he botched a plancha, I believe it's called, and you saw when his knee hit the ground, it like twisted. So he's gonna be out, which I don't really give a damn. Anyway, CM Punk versus Del Rio, great match, plenty of awesome spots. Del Rio was working on Punk's left arm throughout the whole match. And then he locks the armbar on him, and Punk, being the amazing showman that he is, I seriously thought it was hurting him. That's just how well he did it. He got to the ropes. And then they went back and forth, back and forth. Punk went for a GTS, Del Rio countered. Then Punk gave him the kick to the head. And then Del Rio managed to come back, try to put him in the armbar again, which Punk reversed into an Anaconda Vice, and Del Rio tapped. New WWE Champion CM Punk. And last but not least, Awesome Truth versus The Rock and Cena. It's to be expected, I guess. Like, Awesome Truth that went throughout it. And it started off with The Rock and The Miz, I believe. And a lot of people were thinking, you know, The Rock's going to have ring rust. He's not going to be able to show as well as he did before. He showed better than ever before. The stuff that he was able to pull off and the speed he was moving, not a single little tidbit of ring rust. And it went back and forth between The Rock and then Miz tagged out. R-Truth came in. The Rock beat the crap out of R-Truth. And Miz came back in and he said, I want Cena, blah, blah, blah. So The Rock goes and he kind of just, slaps Cena's hand on the other side. Cena gets in. Cena gets his ass kicked for like 15, 20 minutes maybe. And before finally he tries to make a tag to The Rock, which at the same time The Miz took out The Rock. So Cena was still getting his ass kicked for another 5 minutes before he finally managed to tag in The Rock. And The Rock just kicked the ass. Boots to asses, as they say. Great match by The Rock. Like, I'm a Rock fan to the core, always have been, always will be. And in the end, The Rock got the finish on The Miz, I believe, with the People's Elbow. And then afterwards, Cena was like walking up the ramp, and The Rock is like, come back in here. And they did their whole thing where, Rock gets on the turnbuckle, does his whole thing like this. Place goes nuts. And then Cena gets on the apron, on the ropes, and the place boos him out of the building. They did that 2 more times. No, 1 more time. And then The Rock looks at Cena, and he looks up and he's like, he mouthed the words, watch and listen, and then get the fuck out of here. Like, I can read lips sometimes, and that's what it looked like he was saying. And The Rock went up, did his thing, and then the crowd goes nuts. Cena didn't even try this time, and then The Rock pulls him towards him. Rock bottom, center of the ring. Cena rolls out, slowly makes his way up the ramp, and The Rock stands tall and proud in the turnbuckle. Overall, great night. CM Punk got the biggest pop of the night, hands down. The place was going nuts. Bigger than Riders, which I was shocked. And for my predictions, I got Beth right, I got Ziggler right, I got Team Barrett right, I got CM Punk right because I corrected it in annotation. Uh, I Big Show and Mark Henry ended in disqualification. But Henry's still champion, so I was half right. And The Rock and Cena defeated Miz and Awesome Truth, so I got that one wrong. So 2.5 wrong and the rest right. So, my question to you is, have you ever done anything, like, righteously justice-worthy? I don't know the word I'm looking for, but have you ever done any vigilante justice, I guess I'll call it? Like somebody's getting attacked and you beat up the attacker, or anything like that, because that's what I used to do all the time when I was in school. I would beat up the people who would beat up on the smaller people who wouldn't defend themselves, so on and so forth. Last night, I brought it back after about 2 years. So yeah, have you ever done anything like that? Vigilante justice, I guess I'll call it. Until next time, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, links are in the description. If you haven't already, share this channel with your friends and subscribe. Peace out.